communication between two people leads to misery. Nowadays, communication skill is a major aspect of life. And today, I feel proud for my student who is doing this type of useful events, who is doing hard work to bring such type of contents for free and for all. Also, I feel to be a part of IEI student chapter. I am happy and I am always getting a lot of information by the students and I am learning by students also. So I hope you all participant gain the good knowledge from this webinar, learn something new and apply it practical scenario. And yes, every day is a new day. Every day is a great day. So today I want to thank you, our expert Nikita ma'am, for being with us. Even though holidays, she is sparing time for students' betterment. I appreciate. I am thankful to principal sir for every kind of freedom for the activities. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your remarkable speech. At this moment, sir is in very critical situation. Death occurred in his family, but still, sir has committed us to give a speech, and he had done that. So, hats off to you, this sir. As sir mentioned,
Thank you.
whole IIT also wish to all the participants take benefit of this webinar as much as possible. Now, I would like to introduce today's expert of our webinar, Miss Nikita Rana. She is graduated. She graduated in English literature. Her love towards literature reflects in her workshops, where her easy flow of thoughts and vision capture everyone's imagination. She is certified TEFL and TESOL trainer. TEFL means teaching English as a foreign language, and TESOL means teaching English to speaking of other languages, speakers of other languages. She has been working as a master trainer with Teach India CSR initiative of Times of India for last 3 years. She delivered training at Hindustan Times Learning Centers and SGT University as well. So in nutshell, Nikita ma'am is an impactful trainer sprinkled with dose of happiness and values. All participants are assured to walk out this webinar smiling and having learned some life lessons to impact their visions constructively. So with this introduction, I would like to invite Nikita ma'am to handle this session and enlightening this webinar. Welcome ma'am. Please handle this
Thank you. Thank
webinar.
you so much. Thank you so much for such an elaborate introduction. So, good morning, all of you. I hope you're all doing fine. And as I've already been introduced, my name is Nikita, and today I'm going to talk to you about something really important, something which is a part of your everyday life, something which is a part of your professional life, even in a more impactful manner. It impacts your personal relationships, it impacts your professional relationship, it further impacts your professional growth as well. If you are going to grow in your career or not, it all depends on the same. And as we all have been discussing for the last 10 minutes, it's all your communication skills. And in an interview, which is the first step towards your job, which is the first step towards your better career, which is your first step towards a brighter future, communication and language plays a very, very important role there. So you need to be very particular. And it's not that difficult, I must tell you. Of course, it is very important, but it is not that difficult that we have to, worry so much about it. There's so many simple tricks, some small tricks that you should be careful about, that you should keep in mind, which will definitely help you to perform better in an interview skill, in an interview, in a job interview, and will definitely help you secure a job for yourself. So, without any further delays, let's get started. And throughout the session, keep noting all your doubts and questions. I'll be taking them up. And trust me, you'll not go out of the session without getting all your questions answered. So, keep noting them, keep posted, and I'll be taking all of them. So, let me share the screen and then we'll just start with the session, okay? Okay, so we're good to start. Just a second, please. Okay, so I'm sure you all are able to see the screen clearly, and I expect the same. That is interview preparation with effective language and communication skills. So that's what we're going to be doing. And let's get started now. So, as Sir also told us, in the beginning, he said that Communication either makes it or breaks it. That's absolutely true. And without without getting deviated, let me give you a very live example. Okay, I'll give you a very real example which happened with me once. It's not a professional one, but I'll tell you. I said something. I was at a job interview, and they asked me in the end, towards the end of the interview, they asked me uh, if you have any questions for us. So when I they asked me this question, so I was trying to be a little cool, and I said, okay, now they've given me an opportunity, so I should ask them a question, right? That definitely comes up to your mind. You want to act smarter, so I asked them, okay, so what are going to be the working hours? Like, what are the working hours which are going to be there for me? So now that one question of mine turned out to be a deal breaker. I lost that job. Why did I lose
Sorry to
that job?
interrupt you, ma'am.
Yeah.
If possible, you can increase your sound via your
Okay.
laptop because
Okay,
we are
I'll just
streaming.
do that. Is it better?
Ma'am, please again repeat the sentence.
Is it better? My sound is better now.
Yeah, ma'am, it's fine.
Okay, perfect. So shall I continue?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So that one particular question actually turned out to be a deal breaker for me. So we need to be very particular what words we are saying there, what we are doing there, what are the questions we are asking them, what are the different ways in which we are communicating there, because that's a first impression. And a lot of people say that your first impression is your last impression. So we need to be very careful about that very first impression, and we must ensure that we come out of that session successful. We come out of that session, that interview, as a selected candidate and not as a rejected candidate. So you see here, it says a man is seldom better than his conversation. It's a German proverb. It's a very famous German proverb which says you can know about the character of a person, you can know about the values of a person, you can know about everything a person is just by the kind of conversation that person makes. So whatever the person is talking, whatever the person is speaking, so it is important. You can analyze that, you can make out you can make what kind of a person he is just by the way he's speaking, just by the kind of conversation he is making. So that ensures, that itself tells you how important these skills are, how important communication skills are, the kind of questions you're speaking, the kind of words you're talking, the kind of sentences you're making, at the same time the kind of body language you have. So it all becomes a very important part of your language skills for sure. So that in that manner, a man is seldom better than his conversation, and we need to be careful about that. So let's get started with an interview. So, what is an interview for that matter? You all know, like a job interview, you go out, that's your first step towards a brighter career, and with that, you can definitely get take the first step towards your bright future. So it says a job done is defined by the way it's done. See, there are so many jobs in market, right? You all are people from electrical backgrounds. You will be going to different corporates, different technical houses where you'll be getting jobs. So, for example, there's a job that needs to be done, and the job can be done either which way. You don't have to you all have those technical skills for that. You all are going to be hired because you have that particular technical skill that you need to perform that job. But at the same time, the way a job is done is more important. The way a job is done makes the whole story different. It tells you if it is going to be a success or if it is going to be an average one, if it's going to be a job great done, a job well done, or is it going to be another job which just happened, and you just did it the way everybody else would do it. So it makes a big difference, the way you do a job. And in an interview, the interview decodes your personality that sense, right? He decodes what you're saying, what kind of a person you are, and if you will be able to perform that job or not, if you will be able to perform that job better than the other person or not. So that becomes very important in an interview. Like you have the technical skills, you're sitting in an interview because you're already a graduate in that particular field, you already have a certificate or a diploma in that particular field, isn't it? But at the same time, what makes the difference is the way you present yourself. the way you express yourself to the other person. If the person can show trust in you, if the person can show faith in you, if the person finds you to be a responsible person, so all those things make the entire difference if you are going to be an asset for the organization or not. See, in any job interview, any place you go for an interview, they don't want liabilities, isn't it? They don't want people they just give out salaries to and they carry on with their expenses. No, they want assets, isn't it? They want people from whom they can earn further, from whom they can make profits, from whom they can gather a lot other business. So that is the crux of any job, isn't it? I do a job because I'm good at it. You are going to do a job because you are going to be good at it. At the same time, there are certain skills which are very commonly prevalent, which needs to be taken care of. So therefore, what makes the difference is the same, that what kind of a person you are, what kind of a personality you imbibe, and what kind of an impression you are going to give out on the other person. So, the way you present yourself is the key factor. And the way you present yourself is not only the way you talk, it's also a lot of other things. It's the way you speak, it's the way you dress yourself, it is the way you move your hands, it's the way you make your eye contact. There's so much that you need to take care of when you are in an interview. So there, that way, communication skills along with language plays a very important role in that sense. So moving on, if I ask you what is communication, like expression in this most simple word, it just means expressing yourself. Whatever your thoughts are, whatever your ideas are. For example, this webinar had to happen, isn't it? So I was asked. Somebody communicated me. They expressed their idea. They expressed their thoughts that we want this to get done. We want this done. Therefore, we want you. So there has to be a message, right? Which goes out, and it can also be a fact, it can be a thought, it can be an opinion, and it has both direct and indirect impact. And as I told you in the beginning itself, it's both professional and personal. You shout at your friend, you can turn it into a fight, isn't it? You argue with your teacher, you may lose marks, isn't it? The teacher may cut your score. The teacher may not promote you further. You get into an argument with your manager. So therefore, even that creates a problem. So in personal and professional life, both the way you're talking, the way you're communicating is very important. The way you communicate not only through your words, but communication is a lot more than what you speak. Of course, what you speak is very important. For example, here in this webinar, in this presentation, in this workshop, I am speaking and you all are listening to me, isn't it? So that is the most important thing. What I'm speaking here is very important. But other than that, if I speak, okay, your communication skills must be good, you should keep that. That doesn't create an impact. You have to take care of so many other things, like if I am serious about it, if I'm enthusiastic about it, if I'm true about it. So communication is, yes, a lot of words, but at the same time a lot other things other than words, right? So we are just going to talk about the same. The way one communicates plays the most important role. It can either break the deal or it can make the deal, and at the same time it's both. Communication is both the things. It's verbal and non-verbal. And see, when you're going to a job interview, you're going for there to secure a role for yourself, to secure a job for yourself. And the way you look, the way you sound, the kind of words you say are all part of it. It's a full package. See, any job interview, it's like a game, you can say. It's like a game that you're going to play. Everything is going to be counted, isn't it? The what you're talking, the way you're talking, all that matters. And most important is the non-verbal part, the physiology part, your body language, if you're huffing, your body movement, the tone of your voice, the tempo, the volume. Have you ever noticed otherwise that, for example, I'm sure you all must be knowing that and you can laugh at it along with me. So, you go to some job, you meet your friend and you tell, oh my God, that person secured such a good job. He was not even good in studies. He was not even good in academics. He didn't even score as good as me, but still he was able to find a good job for himself. Why? because those people look and sound a certain way. They're attractive the way they look, the way they sound. That plays a major role for them. Have you ever noticed that students from the arts field are more expressing? They all are actors, they're all into theater, they're all doing creative things. Why? Because creativity brings out the best of you. As they say, like, being a creative person brings the best in you. It brings out the most intricate part of your personality. So the way you look, the way you sound, it it creates an impactful impression, isn't it? So words become important, so words become less important there. So I hope you are making sense with that. And therefore, you don't need to be jealous of that friend of yours. In fact, you need to learn from that friend of yours that what else you can do to get better, what else you can do to secure yourself a job. And there, communication along with language plays a very important role, plays the most crucial role, I would say. If you go to any event, for example, you really like the host there, right? And the host there is doing a job. And what is the job? Just to keep everybody entertained, to keep everybody into the session. They don't want the person to get bored, right? Who are they people? They are the people with the best communication skills. But at the same time, the way they look, the way they sound, the way they present themselves is equally important. The way is equally important as the way they speak, as what they speak, isn't it? So therefore, both verbal and non-verbal communication plays the utmost important role. And therefore, there was a great person called Albert Mehrabian. He brought about that 738 and 55 rule of personal communication. He says, and he decoded, that verbal is what you say, and that is only 7% of your entire communication. Vocal is how you say, voice that we convey, right? And that is 38% of your communication. But at the same time, visual, which is what you see, what you look like, that is 55% of your communication. And that's a big percentage. So imagine more than 50% of what you're communicating is all visual, is all your body language, is all the way you look, is all the way you are using your body in that sense, the way you are presenting yourself physically that way. So there, Albert Mehrabian's 738-55 rules, even today, is most relevant when it comes to personal communication. See, what I'm saying is only 7%. For example, you go out for an interview, you're sitting at an interview. Of course, what you say plays in an important role, but at the same time, how you're saying it. If your voice is good, if your tempo is fine, if you're able to communicate what you're saying in an enthusiastic tone, in a better tone, so that is very important. I hope my voice is fine. Do I need to increase my volume? Should I change my setup? Is if that's important?
Yeah, ma'am,
Yeah,
if possible, please
I just
increase.
Just a second.
Yeah, ma'am. There is an
Better?
improvement in your voice. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Definitely.
perfect, perfect. So let me continue. So Albert Mirabian, we were talking about Albert Mirabian and his 7, 38, and 55 rule. So what you say is a very less percentage of your communication. Then how you say, a bigger portion. And visual, that is your body language, is the most important. The way you make your hand movement, your gestures, your eye contact, all that equally plays a very important role when you talk about personal communication. Great. So, keeping Albert Mirabian in mind, let's move further and talk about filters in communication. So, what hampers your communication? So, when you're talking to somebody, what turns out to be the biggest turn off in a communication? What doesn't work for you when you are communicating with someone? So, first thing goes, your inattention, being inattentive, not paying attention to what the person is saying. You are sitting there physically, but mentally you're thinking about a pizza, maybe. Maybe you're thinking about, okay, I have to go for another interview. Okay, after this interview, what do I need to do next? Do I need to meet my parents? Do I need to go to a party? Am I meeting a friend of mine? So that turns out to be the biggest filter in communication, that you're inattentive. You're not even listening carefully. Then premature evaluation. You evaluate the entire situation even before the situation is absolutely surfaced. You are always in a hurry. You're always thinking, oh, I know what you're saying. A lot of you will relate with this. When you're talking to somebody and you're expressing your thoughts and ideas and you're saying something, and your friend tells you, oh, I know what you're saying. Oh, I know what you're saying. I know. Okay, you mean to say that. And then you say, no, I don't mean that. I mean something else. So therefore, premature evaluation again turns out to be a big turnoff. The interviewer would feel that you're not a good listener. You're not ready to listen what I'm trying to say. Therefore, being inattentive, premature evaluation, and prejudice. You're already biased towards something. For example, you go to a job interview and your friend told you this company is really bad. Yeah, the manager is so strict here. He is really brutal. He's not good. So you're already going there with the mindset that, oh, this company is not good. I don't want a job there, and I'm going to prepare in a better way for the next one. So keep your mind positive in that sense. Keep your mind unbiased, unprejudiced. That is important. Then stereotyping. Again, prejudice, stereotyping. You already know, oh, this is a company in XYZ area, so the place is going to be like that only. So you're already thinking, okay, there's a young person taking my interview. Oh, he must not be serious. He's so new. He can't judge me. So you're already stereotyping, and that turns out to be a big no-no. Then you generalize a lot of ideas. You generalize in the sense, okay, these are the best answers that I need to prepare. There are 10 questions that I found on the internet, the mostly those commonly asked questions in an interview. You prepare them, you generalize your answers, and then you go and present them. So therefore that turns out to be again a big turn off, a big no that you're going to get after that. And that turns out to be another filter in that communication. Then you're having fixed ideas. You're not flexible with your approach. Your ideas are fixed. You're rigid about what you're trying to say and do. Even that there turns out to be a big turn off. That turns out to be a negative baggage in your entire interview that is happening. And then rigidity in your thoughts and ideas. You're not flexible. You're not ready to mold. You're not ready to, no, I won't say adjust, but mold. You're not ready to learn something new. You are already fixed. Okay, I don't know this. I can't do this. For example, somebody asks you, can you take up that responsibility? And you clearly say, no, I don't know how to do that. But how you can make this better? You can say, okay, I'm not sure, but I can definitely learn. Right, the way you answer. So we'll talk about the same now. Therefore, poor communication can lead to absolute rejection in an interview. So if you're not able to communicate nicely, you're not able to express yourself nicely, you're going to lose that interview. You're going to be rejected. You're going to come out as a rejected candidate and not a selected one. So you lose your opportunity, you lose business, you turn out to be more inefficient, then there's lower productivity at your end, poor coordination and antagonism. Even, for example, let's say you get selected in a job interview. That's the first step, isn't it? Sitting for a job interview, clearing that job interview is just the first step. There's so much that you need to do beyond. Therefore, in your, even your professional life, you need to be productive, isn't it? And even if there your communication skills are not that good, then there's going to be poor coordination amongst your employee, amongst your colleagues, and therefore it's going to be there's going to be a conflict with them, and it can damage your image. You turn out to be a dissatisfied person who's not happy with what's happening around you. You lose team spirit. You don't want to work with others, which leads to conflict and definitely loss of friendship. If you're not able to express yourself nicely, for example, let's say you're taking this webinar here, you're attending this webinar here, and there was a friend of yours who's also preparing for interview, and you didn't tell that friend of yours about this webinar, there definitely that friend is going to feel bad, isn't it? So you lose friendship, you risk that. So therefore, uh, poor communication is a risky idea, is a risky deal. Therefore, you need to work a lot on your communication skills and better them, so that you gain relationships, you gain business, you gain jobs, you do better with your career, you are more satisfied, you enhance your image rather than damaging it, and you build a trust relationship between your employer and your colleagues as well. So what is language and how does that play a role? See, when we talk about language and communication, we always about them together, because language is the most formal way, is the most effective way. Like we human beings say that we communicate in the most elaborate manner, we communicate in the most amazing manner. Why? Because we can speak, we have a language which is defined, which is systematic. Therefore, language is the most effective tool. If you love somebody, you go and tell them, okay, I love you. If you hate, oh, I hate you. So you have words for that. And therefore, language is very important because it gives out clear information. It gives out clear facts. It tells real values. It expresses yourself as you are. But there is also, even when we all humans are endowed with this beautiful gift of language, sometimes we fail to express ourselves. Even then sometimes we fail to express the way, and we fail to express what we want to say. We fail to express our real thoughts and ideas, our real beliefs and opinions. So that is very, very risky, that is very inefficient, and we need to be efficient in that, because language is the most systemized way in which you can communicate, isn't it? For example, you get an email which is nicely written, you know, the venue, you know, the timings, everything is mentioned, and you feel happy. Okay, so now whenever you want to know about something, you go back to that email because that is so elaborately mentioned, that is so elaborately written there. So therefore, in that sense, language is very important. At the same time, written as well as spoken. See, spoken is the most important part because you keep speaking all the time, isn't it? Spoken part is more, it plays the most important role, the most crucial role, because you're constantly interacting with people. Therefore, language is functional in that sense. It shapes your identity, it creates an impression, and it builds relationship. See, again, for example, I ask you, do you like it? And you tell me, uh-huh, yeah, I like it. But you say you like it, but the tone with which you say, it seems you don't like it. So there's a conflict. And you need to work in the sense that you are avoiding those conflicts. You don't get into that conflicting situation, so that you communicate nicely, so that what you say and how you say, what you say and what you want to say, they are the same thing. For example, I ask you, are you able to understand? Remember in school, when we were all in school and the teacher used to ask us, okay, guys, do you understand what I told you? And you say, yes, ma'am. But you could never understand that. It's just an obligation you had to say, okay, yes, ma'am, I understand. So therefore, now in jobs, in your professional life, you cannot do that. What you say and what you want to say, both the things should be the same. If you are not able to manage that correct, then the entire role of language and communication goes into the dustbin. That doesn't work at all. So therefore, language is something that you need to be more elaborate about, you need to be more clear about, and you need to learn what to say and what not to say. So talking further, what is say and how you say it are two different things. What you say, for example, I say, yeah, I'm understanding, and then I say, yeah, okay, I understand. Two different things. I may say something, but my body language shows something else. My tone shows something else. Therefore, there are two very different things. And then let's say, take an example here. Okay, get me a glass of water. This is one sentence. And then I say, can you please get me a glass of water? Different things, isn't it? Then I say, okay, for example, there's a person called Ayush. Ayush, get me that book. Okay. And then I say, hey, Ayush, can you get me that book, please? They're two different things. My message is same, that I want that book. But in one sentence, I'm commanding, I'm ordering, and the other, I'm requesting. For example, I say, okay, you hear me? Can you hear me all? Okay. Could you all tell me if you can hear me? Different sentences. So you need to structure your language accordingly. You need to understand that there is a difference between the two. A lot of times it happens when we're teaching kids as well, isn't it? We tell them, use full sentences, do not answer in one word, use full sentences. Okay, if somebody asks me, for example, I say, do you want a glass of water? I can say yes. Mhm. And then in the other sentence, I say, yes, of course, thank you. So that plays a role. That entire, both my answers are going to create different impacts, right? Somebody asks me a question, for example, here, and I say, okay, I hope you're able to understand this. Mhm. And then okay, yeah. So then you say, are you able to okay, do you ask me a question and I give you an answer, and I give you an answer. For example, the question is, ma'am, can you please speak a little louder? And I say, okay. And in the other sentence I can simply say, okay, is it better now? So you need to tell the other person that you, yes, you're there, you're listening, you're understanding what they're saying, and you are answering in the same way, you are talking in the same way. So that is very, very important. I hope you all are getting that. If there's any question, you can keep them posted, you can make a list of all your questions. So let's move ahead. So okay, so say it the way you want it to be. Positive language. A lot of time we are telling people, okay, it's fine, it's okay, it's okay. And this is a one cliche sentence that we use, it's okay. You know, we always keep saying it's okay. What do you mean by it's okay? You can definitely say it's good, it's nice, that's really good, that really works. So you can definitely say. So positive language, just bombard your sentences, your language with a lot of positive phrases. Just tell them. For example, you can say, okay, how do you like this dress, for example, or how do you like this pen? uh, One person says it's really good, the other person says, uh-huh, it's not that bad. So when you say the word bad, that captures the attention, that captures the entire attention of the conversation. And good is nowhere to be heard and seen. Therefore, it is very important that you use a lot of positive words, a lot of positive jargons there. So load your language with everything that you want to convey. You want to tell people that you want this job? Okay, tell them. I want to be selected. If I get selected, and when I get the job, I'm definitely going to work hard. I'm going to work in a positive manner. I'm going to be a responsible person. So tell them using your words. It doesn't mean that you keep blabbering, you keep speaking and speaking and speaking. No, speaking the most relevant part in the most relevant way. Choose your words nicely, choose your words wisely. Do not just keep blabbering, keep speaking. Speak only when asked, of course, but at the same time use positive words. What you like, tell them what you like and not what you don't like. So just talk about the positive aspect of the entire thing. That is most important. Now, again, I'm going to give you a very important trick. Always use that. Avoid the use of word but. Don't say but. It creates a difference there. It creates a kind of an impact where the tempo goes down. For example, uh, there's a question, am I selected for the job? And the person says, yes, but. Now when you hear the word but, you automatically understand, okay, I'm not selected. That gives you a very negative sound, that gives you negativity there. So you avoid using but, and you can rather say and. For example, I can do it but I want some time. On the other hand, you can say I can do it and I need some time to prepare. For example, you ask me, ma'am, can I ask you a question? And I say, yes, you can ask me, but later on, please. Mhm. When I say but, you know that she don't want to answer my question, right? But if I say, yeah, of course you can ask me a question, and can I just take it in next 5 minutes? Can you please keep it posted till then? So that's the difference in language. So avoid use of but, not, I can't. For example, there's something that you really can't. It doesn't mean that you have to lie. It doesn't mean that. It just means that you rephrase your sentences better. For example, can you fly a plane? And I can definitely say that I can't. Of course, I cannot fly a plane. But at the say that's a technical question. But for example, will you be able to manage a night shift? That can be a question, isn't it? And the person may be asking you the same. Can you manage a night shift in this organization if you get selected? And if you say, I'm so sorry, sir, I can't. Right, that's a brute, honest answer. That's absolutely correct. But at the same time, you can rephrase it better. You can definitely tell the other person, I'm not sure, sir. I'm not very sure. And I'm definitely going to manage that for sure because I don't want to lose upon an opportunity. So rephrase your sentences better. Instead of bluntly and very directly saying, no, I can't, with non-technical questions. See, you have to understand that there are two types of questions in an interview: technical ones and the non-technical ones. Technical ones are going to be very objective. They're going to be related to your field, to what you're doing, to what your main task is going to be. So therefore there you have to be technical and direct. But at the same time, about some other questions, you can play with words, you can use better phrases, you can rephrase your sentences in that sense. So be careful there. Sometimes even the most simple change, can bring the most powerful impact. And try this today onwards. Don't use but in your sentences, use and. Don't use words like negative words like not, I can't do it, I am not able to do it. Rephrase better, I'm trying, I will definitely try, I am going to do it further. Use those phrases, and I'm sure you all get that here. So make strong affirmations. Look, what do you mean by affirmations? For example, I tell there's a question, right? And the person says, if you get a job, if you get this job, do you think you will be able to manage long working hours? And then you say, okay, if I get this job, I will be able to manage long working hours for sure, sir. I'm a hardworking person. It's a good sentence, right? It's definitely a good sentence, no doubt about that. But how you can make it more positive and impactful? Affirmations. Affirm that you will achieve what you want to. Show faith in your own self. Just show that faith in yourself. And then you simply say, okay, sir, when I get this job, sir, I will definitely be able to manage long working hours because that's what my job is. That's what I'm going to be. So remove your ifs and buts with your positive frame of sentences like when I get this job. So it's an affirmation. So just talk about being successful. They say there's a very good quote: dress the way you want to be addressed. That's a very famous quote that people usually say. Dress the way you want people to address you. Same way, talk the way you want to be talked about. If you talk in a successful manner, you are going to be successful. That's going to definitely create a very positive impression. So take care of that. So make positive affirmations and talk about being successful together. Just talk about being about working really hard and getting things done. So that is very, very important. And I hope that makes sense. You all are able to get that and no doubts. So pick up on what the interview said and repeat it back. Now, this is again one very important thumb rule. Remember that, everyone. For example, I say, will you be able to manage long working hours? So I can answer, yes. That's my one answer. I simply say, yes. And there's another way to answer. I can definitely say to the person, uh, long working hours, of course, sir, I will be able to manage long working hours. So it is very important that you ensure that you make the interviewer realize and feel that yes, you are listening to him or her nicely. You're getting what the other person is saying, and you are definitely attentive. So pick up on what the interviewer said and repeat it sometimes. It's not necessary that you do it all the time. No, do it when necessary. Do it with a lot of do it with questions which are a little tricky, which are a little more complex, which needs a little more subjective answers. Talk about it. So that's called mirroring, guys. With this means mirror, that you mirror what the other person is saying, that you ensure that yes, you're listening to the person, you're absolutely attentive, and you're definitely there in that entire conversation. So that's there. Then, of course, there's a very famous quote by James Hume who says, communication is an art of leadership. Communication is an art. The way you communicate shows a leader in you. For example, if you talk about any big leaders, like you talk about your own prime minister or any uh, Barack Obama or any other political leader or any other person like let's talk Jeff Bezos and all these people, Elon Musk. They're all great communicators. They are all able to express their thoughts and ideas in a nice manner, and therefore they're all leaders. So you need to keep that intact. You need to keep that in mind, that if you want to become a leader, and you need to show leadership qualities in an interview for sure, you cannot escape that. So therefore, in that sense, this particular art of communication is the most important thing. So now let's talk about non-verbal communication. Everything you say is done, okay? Everything you say is fine. But now, what about what you don't say? What you don't say directly? What you don't say directly is a non-verbal communication, because you show it, you express it. You show it through your body language, your gestures, your posture, eye contact, hand movement, the way you dress yourself, the way you make your hand movement, your facial expressions. So all that definitely makes a part of your non-verbal communication, which helps you build rapport with the interviewer. And if you're successful and in building a positive rapport with your interviewer, half of your interview is successful and done. If you're not able to connect, see, if I'm talking to you all right and you're not getting what I'm saying, my job is not done. Even if the interview if even if this entire webinar is over, if you are not getting what I'm saying, my job is unsuccessful, right? So when you are going for an interview, your job there is to express yourself nicely, secure that job, create a good impression. And for that, you need to build a good rapport with the interviewer. That is the most important thing, that you express yourself nicely, you build a good rapport with the interviewer, the person who's taking your interview. So first of all, make sure that your voice is nicely paced, your tone is fine, and your pitch is good. So you cannot be just saying without noticing, okay, I need to just talk, I need to just give my answers. But at the same time, along with giving answers, you need to maintain the pace, how you're speaking. If you keep blabbering and speaking without breathing, and you just forget, and you are so much confused in your own brain, in your own mind, that you mess it all. No, you need to avoid that. And with that, what you can do is just take deep, long breath. That's simple. Whenever you get, whenever you get confused or nervous, and just do one thing. Just take a deep, long breath. It works. Trust me, guys, it works really well. Gather your thoughts, gather your ideas, maintain the pace. Don't go too high, don't go too low. Maintain that tone. Do not maintain a boring tone. Keep it enthusiastic, keep it energetic, but don't keep it overly energetic. So you need to understand that. So your pitch is fine, your tone is good, and your pace is absolutely great. Then speak clearly. You know, a lot of times when we're talking, when we're speaking, we forget to breathe. And I'm talking, and okay, I'm sir, I'm a graduate. I just want to work with your organization. It's such a big organization. It's so good and all, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm speaking, and I forget to breathe. The person understands that you're getting nervous. A lot of time, your overexcitement, your over enthusiasm can be misunderstood as overconfidence and as nervousness as well. So there, you need to be a little more careful. You need to keep it slow. You need to calm down, and you need to breathe. That's all that you really need to do, and in an important manner. And don't huff. What is huffing? I hope you all understand. Okay, you're speaking and you just catch you're not able to catch your breath then. So take your time. Do not do that. You don't need to be nervous about anything. You are good, you're prepared. You go to an interview well prepared. You go to an interview with all your important documents. So you don't need to be nervous about anything. So take your time and do not huff. Just keep it easy, keep it going, and just take it as another conversation with another person. Just take it in a very formal way. That's more important. So, um, okay. Another important thing, practice being present. The most important non-verbal communication trick, you just be in that situation, guys. Do not be like you are present physically in an interview, sitting on the chair in the interview room, but mentally you're thinking, okay, I'm going to eat a biscuit after this. Oh, I have to listen to that music. I have to go to that friend's party. Do not do that. Trust me, if you are constantly thinking about so many other things in your brain, it will show. It will automatically show. The interviewer is a smart person. The interviewer is sitting at that place because he knows the nooks and crannies. So he knows what is there and what is not there. So be present there. Just do not keep thinking about some other things. Just be there in that conversation, be a part of it, and participate actively. Then now let's talk about some tools of the same effective communication. You have to be emotionally balanced. You cannot just get carried away. If you're saying something, it's not that you just get carried away and you keep saying, oh, for example, there's a question and you prepared so well for that question and you get so emotional about that question that you spend 5 minutes out of that 15 interview minutes into that question only. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. You need to keep that in mind. You need to maintain that emotional balance. You need to have a positive attitude towards what you're saying. And you need to be very, very less demotivated. See, sometimes when you're in an interview, you get into a difficult spot. I don't say that there is not going to be a difficult position. There may be. Of course, there can be a very difficult position. You really don't understand what's happening around you. You do not like the entire process that's happening. That's fine. But avoid saying negative things. Avoid that to the maximum extent. Just appreciate everything around you. It's not that you flatter. You don't need to get into flattering and all. You don't need to do that. You need to be just honest about your opinion. Just acknowledge the efforts others are making, you are making. Be attentive towards the speaker. Have an affirmative tone. That's what we have been discussing all throughout. Be empathetic. Sometimes there are some trick questions they ask you, and they want to check your emotional quotient. See, emotional intelligence is very important. It's as important and as necessary as any other form of intelligence. You need to be intelligent, you need to be smart with your emotions. Very important and necessary. Therefore, be empathetic. You cannot you cannot sympathize with everything, isn't it? Like, you cannot help every beggar on the road. You cannot help every person in need. That's a limitation. That's a human limitation. It's humanly not possible, and there's no shame in accepting that. But be empathetic, be compassionate. That's the least you can do. Just show respect and openness to ideas. Don't be rigid with what you are saying. Okay, I'll not do it. Okay, a night shift, I'll not do it. Okay, it's your choice. You have to decide if you want to do it or not do it. Or, for example, extra working hours or overtime. These all are your personal questions. But in an interview, you cannot be rigid with your ideas. You lose that job. Because when you go to an interview, your agenda is to clear that. Your agenda is to come out as a successful candidate and not as a rejected one. Therefore, show respect and openness to ideas and just develop a good, nice, positive rapport with your interviewer. Very important. But at the same time, dress nicely, go well dressed in an interview with properly combed hair, clean dress, nicely sleeted dress, and no, like, wear good colors, sober colors. All that, of course, that matters. Like, as I told you, just dress the way you want to be addressed. So that's very important. Now, what is the fundamental which comes out? Like, if you talk about these tools of effective communication, so what is the most fundamental tool of effective communication? So again, that's coherent sharing of information, that you are able to share what you want to say and create a positive impact on the receiver. So, okay, when you're communicating, there are two ends, the sender and the receiver. If you talk about technical communication, like any message, it may be, you all are using WhatsApp and email. So, there is one person called sender, who you may be the sender, and there's a person who's the receiver. So, now the fundamental part is that you send what you really want to tell the other person, and the other person is able to understand what you want to tell, and that leaves a very positive impact on the receiver. And therefore, here, verbal and written information, they're different and very separate from each other. Verbal, what you're saying. Written, what you write down, and that can be as elaborate as it can be. You look at any poster, right? You look at any one particular poster or any workshop flyer. You get all the information there, like what is the topic of the workshop, where is it going to happen, when is it going to happen, and all that. So you get it, so you understand, there the communication is so clear and direct. Therefore, you need to be very clear and to the point. You don't need to brag about anything. So that is the fundamental, and whatever you're communicating, you need to be very aware about that. You need to be aware who your audience is, what your message is, and how you want to deliver. So very important. And the best part is, the most important part is, just listen carefully. Since childhood we have been doing that. Half the answer is in the question itself, isn't it? It's all in the question. If you listen carefully and you understand what the person is saying without interrupting the person, it's halfway done. So it's always a two-way process. If I tell you something and you don't get it, my communication is absolutely zero. It's not even half done or like one fourth done. It's either full or none. So it's meaningless if you're not listening. So be a good listener, be an active listener, be a patient listener. A lot of time we make a mistake that when we're listening to a question, we stop the person speaking in between and we assume what the other person is saying and we start answering. That's an absolute no. You cannot do that. You should not do that. Let the interviewer complete the question. There may be a second question attached to it. There may be another question attached to the same one. So you should be patient. Therefore, it is crucial to maintain that productive relationship and build strong rapport. You have to listen to the other person. Otherwise, it shows that you're not serious. And when you're listening to the other person, you build faith, you build trust, and you build an interpersonal relationship nice. So stop assuming, stop interrupting, and listen to the question. Wait for the interviewer to complete the question and then start answering. Do not assume, okay, I know what the person is saying, so I'll keep it that way. No, don't do that. So that about that, be an active listener. And now another important thing. See, again, this is another deal maker or a deal breaker. You need to know the limits of communication methods. See, today in this era of social media, communication is very simple. You know, you can communicate with 1 lakh people in 1 second through social media. You can communicate with the world through one single platform. There's so many methods to communicate, but you need to understand which mode of communication, which method of communication needs to be used where. You cannot WhatsApp everybody. You cannot make a phone call to everyone. There's an email. Why is there an email? Electronic mail. That's the most formal way to communicate. So you cannot make them equivalents. So face to face conversation cannot be replaced with the text. Yes, you have telephonic interviews nowadays. Of course, for sure you have that, and there's nothing wrong in that. But there are video conferencing as well. But for example, you have done an interview, you're done with that, and you need to get some information. So every time you cannot make a call, every time you cannot drop a personal text, every time you cannot drop a WhatsApp text. So for all the official things that you need to communicate, email is the answer to that. So you cannot of course, until and unless the other person doesn't allow you to do that. If the other person allows you to contact you on WhatsApp or any other way, avoid that. Wait for that rapport to be built. Wait for that kind of a relationship to be built. You cannot WhatsApp everybody. So that is very, very important. And you should understand, you should know the limits, that which method of communication needs to be limited to what extent. So make a phone call when necessary, make a text when necessary, and understand different ways in which, understand different relationships in which you can do that. So now the task is what to do. There's so much that you need not do, right? And nowadays it's more important to focus on what not to do, because there's so much of information. There's so much of information on the internet, on different books, and there's so much of preparatory time that we are devoting. So along with what we are not doing, we need to be very careful with what to do. So the most important thing is greet. Greet the other person nicely. Just when you enter the interview room, just greet, good morning, sir, or good afternoon, whatever the timing is. So, hello, sir, good afternoon. You can definitely, you need to greet, and that is the first step towards building a rapport. And you cannot say hello, sir. You definitely need to have a smile on your face, isn't it? You don't need to laugh, of course, but you need to smile at least. So smile in that sense, greet the other person. Now understand the difference between responding and reacting. Most of the time, we are listening to a question to give an answer, to react on that. But we need to respond. We need to understand what is being said, and we need to give an answer in response to that and not in a reaction to that. That is important. Then, first listen, understand, and then think and respond. Manage your emotions there. You need to be emotionally intelligent. You need to be emotionally balanced as well. So that is very important. So just listen, understand, and think, and then manage your emotions and answer. Then of course you get what you give. So you need, it's always reciprocatory. It's always give and take. So just have a smile on your face, be positive, and you will get a smile and a positivity. And you will be appreciated if you appreciate. So maintain that positivity, even if there are so many trick questions being thrown at you, even if there are so many difficult questions, difficult situations you're put into. Be positive, be affirmative. It's just a matter of time. You need to give that to it. You need to give that benefit of doubt to the same. So just listen to understand and think. So you get what you give. and smile nicely and just be there, be fully present in that conversation. Now give time to people to talk, do not rush, as I was telling you. And it's not only about interrupting, it's also about using your body language, it's also through your body language. Phone is your biggest enemy in an interview. Do not even put it on vibration, just put it on absolute silent if you when you're entering the room, because even vibration makes a sound. Never put your phone on the table when you're sitting in an interview. Don't do that. Do not keep looking at your phone. Watch, wristwatch. Do not keep looking at your wristwatch for time. Do not do that. Don't be in rush. See, the person is making time for you to sit and take your interview. So you need to respect that. You need to understand that positioning. So, no phone. Do not look into your watch all the time. Do not look here and there. Oh, the nice plant, nice door, nice window, nice fan. No, you need not do that. Be attentive, of course, but be positive and just manage your body language nicely. Manage it correctly. Just maintain that good and positive in a positive manner. Smile, be positive with what you're saying, and just be strong, guys. That's it. It's not that simple, but again, you have to stand in a winner's position. See, a winner is who's a winner. A winner is a person who visualizes himself winning, who see himself winning. So for example, there are 100 spots, right, and there are 200 participants. You need not think about 200 participants. You need to think about those 100 spots that need to be filled, and you need to focus on that one spot that you need to fill by yourself. So you need to choose your vision. You need to have a good vision in that sense. Have a clear vision there. So just stand in a winner's position and you will win. You have to manage that. You have to get that. And if you think that you will get that, you will surely get that. You need to believe first. I hope that's fine and that makes sense to you all. So just stand in a winner's position, be optimistic, be affirmative, and just be strong. Be confident about your skill. So again, there's a trick here. We can be confident, we can be real, we can be absolutely prepared for the interview and everything. But different people, different thought process, different mindsets, different kind of personalities, everything is different. There's nothing common, isn't it? So we need to understand that impact of globalization there, the impact of diversity, the impact of the impact of living in a very globalized and interconnected world. So therefore we need to be sensitive as well. We need to be a little more responsible in the way we communicate and in the way we say things. Therefore, I told you, do not be rigid about your ideas. We are living in a culturally diverse world, diversified world. And whatever we do and say, they have far reaching impacts and influences. Therefore, we need to understand, we need to have that clearly set in our mind. No rigidity, be flexible with what you're saying and just be good. That's the core of it. So if there's anything that you cannot accept, just respect it at least. See, you can anytime say no, right? If there's something I'm so sorry. If there's something that you cannot do, you do not want to do, that's absolutely your choice. But at the same time, do not accept it, do not insult it, right? You need to be very dignified in that manner. Now, another important thing and another very major setback that a lot of people think that they feel is again mother tongue influence. What is mother tongue influence, if I ask you, like if you know about it? So we all are coming from different states, different regions, different backgrounds, family backgrounds, educational backgrounds, and so many different things, right? We all are and especially living in a country like India, where there are so many languages, We all speak so many different languages at home, isn't it? There's so many different languages. Our mother tongues are different and our cultures are different. Therefore, there's a kind of accent that we have built since our childhood. And we can always improvise that. But we need to understand that when we are talking about English, that's a second language, right? You all, for example, my Hindi is my first language. Uh that's my first language, that's my native language. Same way other people may have some other language, and the impact of that language is very much there. You cannot escape that. So you don't need to feel shameful about that. It's not a disease, guys. Mother tongue influence is normal. It's fine. You don't need to fake any accent. Yes, of course, we can improvise. We can do a lot of different activities. We can learn English. We can get better at it. But do not be shameful about it. Be confident. Just learn skills. Just tell that you can learn it. But if it is about accent, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. You can anytime improve it, but do not be shameful about it. So that is one thing which is very important. See, confidence is the most important thing when you communicate. Even as I told you, Albert Mirabian also said it's only 7% of the language is only 7%. How you say it is more important. So that goes there. So just develop skills. Just show that you're going to develop those skills and believe in yourself. And just tell people, and if there's something that you need to improvise on, accept that and say, okay, I will improve. And of course, you can do it. You need to be confident about what you're doing. You need to be confident about your skill. That is the most important thing. And that is something that you need to be very, very careful about. Just be confident about your skills, be open to learn, be have an open mindset, and be flexible. That's all is important and required. So just go to an interview prepared and just know where you're going, what you're doing, and what you want to do. Just don't go to an interview, just you wake up in the morning, you take up your file and go and sit. Do your research, do your homework nicely, do your research, know everything about the organization that you're going to go for an interview, and just be relevant. Don't be irrelevant. Just prepare for the profile, for the job profile nicely. Very important. And just get your facts right. Do not lie, guys, because you're always caught. If you lie, it shows. So just be clear and confident, and remember, the best thing about you is you. You know, we all say we're the one in the billions. Of course, you all are one in the billions. We are all one in the millions and the billions. And that's true. So just be clear and confident about yourself. Do not worry at all. So just stay attentive. Don't get personal, and never get personal. That's the most important thing. Just don't get into any personal conversation with the interviewer. If uh, see, the chances are very less that it may happen, just avoid that. Maintain eye contact, definitely. Do not stare for sure, but maintain eye contact. Sign off nicely. Like, for example, okay, you're interviewed over. Thank you so much. Just don't drag the chair, and just get out of the room. No, nice. Just the way you started, end it the same way. Simply say, thank you so much, sir. I'll be waiting for your response. And thank you so much, sir. Have a good day. Smile and then leave. Just take your time. Do not rush. Do not just think, oh, thank God my interview is over. Now I can leave. Okay, you may feel that inside, but control that nervousness, control that rush. Sign off nicely. Take your time and just be easy. Be at ease. Take deep, long breaths and don't be nervous, and just be good there. Another three important things. Do not fake it. You know, when you're faking it, it shows. People are not stupid who are sitting there for taking your interview. They know it all. They're very smart. So don't fake it. Don't tell something that you're not, because it shows. It definitely shows in your personality. Don't lie. Don't lie at all, guys. That creates a very bad impression, because one day it will definitely be caught. See, you cannot lie about your technical skills, right? On your resume, on your CV, everything will be mentioned. So don't lie there. And if you talk about certain other skills, then only you talk about the skills which you think you can learn. Do not lie, because if you start your job, if you lie a lot in your interview, it will show. because your mouth can lie, your eyes and your face will not. It happens. It's scientifically proven that your body language shows so much more. And people who are taking your interview, they're all body language experts who already know if they'll be, they can easily they can easily sense that. So do not fake it. Do not pretend anything. Do not pretend who you want, who you are not, who you know, and just be real. Be who you are, and don't lie. And you can definitely do it. So therefore, just be confident. Be as confident as you can be, and you will definitely be able to make it and get a nice place secured for yourself. Now, in the end, I just want you to learn some really magic words, and they work. For of course, surely they work. Like you can try it. When you say thank you, please, sorry, and excuse me, they always work. First three are very important. See, thank you. For example, you can your interviews. Oh, thank you so much, sir. It was really nice meeting you. I had great time interacting with you. Thank you. So it adds that. For another sense, also you can say, okay, can I please have a glass of water? Yeah, sure. Thank you. So thank you is a good closure. Okay, it closes your sentence in a very nice, positive manner. Then you can definitely say please to the other person, and you can say, hey, can you please give me a glass of water? So can you please tell me the timings? Just add please to your sentence. Even if you're asking for something, if you're asking any question, just add please to it. It will definitely work for sure. Then say sorry. So being sorry doesn't mean that being apologetic about things. No. So sorry, sir, I didn't get what you say. Could you please repeat that? So you can say, I'm so sorry, sir, I didn't understand. Use it that way. If you want something to get repeated, if you want to ask something, I'm so sorry, sir, can I ask you something? Excuse me, sir, can I please ask a question? So use these words. They're polite words. They add a lot of politeness to your language, and it will definitely work in your favor. It will definitely help you get better. It will definitely help you speak better and get nice in that sense. So, magic words, just thank you, say please, only when necessary. Do not keep saying thank you, please, sorry, excuse me unnecessarily. You have to be smart. You have to be smart with the choice of words you make. You have to be smart with the timing as well. So, use these words as often as you can, but only where necessary. Do not just keep speaking them unnecessarily. And of course, very, very important. I think the most important thing, the best accessory that you can carry along with yourself, what is that? That's your smile. So just keep smiling. Do not laugh, okay? You need to understand the difference. You cannot be laughing and showing all your teeth out to the interview, and no, you cannot do that. But yes, a slight smile on your face will definitely make it better. It will make you look confident. You will definitely sound better. Your heart will not pump faster. You'll be able to maintain the pace. You'll be able to maintain the tone and everything. So just maintain that. Do not forget to smile. Just keep smiling and keep talking. Okay, do not smile like an idiot. Do not do that. Just keep a slight smile and a do not frown, of course. So don't forget to smile. Just keep a nice curve on your face and maintain eye contact, and remember to be confident. And trust me, guys, there's no just uh, yeah. So there's nothing better than you, of course. There's nothing who can compete with you. So you need to understand that, and you need to have that kind of a faith in your own self, that the best thing about you is you yourself. So you need to be smart about it, you need to be careful about it, and just celebrate yourself. Be confident, be there in interview, be there, present mentally, physically, emotionally, and just celebrate your own success. Stand in a winner's position, and remember, the best thing about you is only you. You can learn anything. Be an active learner, be an active listener, be an open learner, be a learner all the time. If you are a lifetime learner, there's no looking back. There's nothing that you cannot do. So just focus on being a good learner. That is the most important thing. You can definitely imbibe any skill. You can learn any skill that you want to. So just be confident about that. Don't be rigid about your ideas and just be good. That's the maximum you can do. And just go prepared. Focus on your communication skills. Avoid the use of words like but, not, I can't. Replace them with positive affirmations. Replace them with what you really want and be real in the interview. That's what you need to do. And other than that, if you now have any questions, anything, you can definitely ask me. Open to all your questions. Okay, so questions, please tell me. And if you want to ask anything related to anything that we've done, I'm definitely going to take them up. So the floor is open for questions now.
Ma'am, some of the questions is in chat box, so you can answer them.
I can read that. So one person says how to improve your vocabulary. Okay. See, that's a very technical thing. Language is something that you can definitely learn and improve for sure. You can definitely go for language classes, no doubts that. And you can definitely build that skill for sure. English language learning is very important for your career. Myself being an English language trainer, I can tell you, in any corporate scenario, you need to have that skill. So of course language learning is important. Other than that, vocabulary, reading helps you a lot. You can definitely read. Reading is definitely going to help you. You can read articles, magazines, newspaper, and trust me, even if you learn two new words every day, and it's not about learning, it's about understanding. Just learn a word, understand the meaning, and put it in different context. Understand in what all different ways you can learn that. So you can definitely improve your vocabulary that way. Make a list of words, keep using those words. Do not learn big words. Use words. For example, newspaper is the best way to learn language, because newspaper is giving you all relevant information. So they're giving you all everyday words. So you can definitely learn. That's definitely going to help. I hope you get your answer. Then there's another question which says how to boost confidence. Again, see, these are very subjective questions. Confidence building is again comes with practice. One thing that I can definitely tell you is mirror practice. Mirror practice helps you a lot. That is definitely a deal maker. When you're preparing for something important, just stand in front of a mirror, look into your own eyes, and start answering. Start recording yourself. You can make a video for yourself, your own video. Look at it and be your judge. When you judge yourself from a very unbiased perspective. Then you find out where you're doing wrong, practice it again. That is definitely going to help you. Mirror practice, record yourself, and just go about it. It will definitely help you. So I hope that answers. Okay, anyone else? Any other questions?
Okay, ma'am, no other questions. So you explained everything very nicely, so there is no doubt. So thank you, ma'am, for this knowledge. I am familiar with non-verbal communication, but after attending your session, I upgraded my knowledge. One more thing, ma'am, your English accent is excellent. When I talk in English, I think there is a mother tongue influence is a little bit high side, but I will improve it. As you said, it is not disease, so I will definitely work on that.
Absolutely. Just start, accent can also be worked with reading. Just start reading out loudly. Start reading out aloud, start recording. That will definitely help you for sure.
Some of the points are very good, ma'am, like sign off nicely in interview, don't be fake, magic words, and smile every time. That was the points
Yeah,
I like very much. Okay, ma'am.
definitely.
Now I would like to invite Mr. Parul, Professor Parul, ma'am, to give a vote of thanks. Ma'am, your mic is mute.
Thank you, Dhruvan. Uh, am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Dhruvan. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for this amazing webinar on how to prepare for interview with effective communication skill. And I'm sure participants have enjoyed a lot and learned a lot. Now, those who has attended this webinar will surely be able to crack the interview with the knowledge shared by you, ma'am. It was a very engaging and informative session. I must say, positive reflect from you. We are very thankful and we heartily appreciate all the efforts put by you to make this webinar a great success.
Thank you so much.
I also want to thank you to our management and principal, sir, for providing us a continuous support. And last but not the least, my IEI students, they have burned midnight oil to make this webinar a great success. Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah, so but before signing off, I would like to address a question which I just read in the chat box. And it's quite interesting, and I need to answer that if you allow me, ma'am. Can I?
Yes, sure, ma'am.
Yeah, so there's a question you which says, do you mean that person who is not who's good looking and can get job, and person who doesn't have okay, I this is very important. Now you need to understand it's not about good looks. It's about dressing well. Dressing well has nothing to do with the way you look, right? It means that you dress in neat and tidy clothes, that you comb your hair nicely, that your body odor is not very strong, it's very pleasant. So it's nothing to do with the looks, it's just about how you present yourself. It's all about your body language. So that's what I want to say about that answer. So don't get confused in the two. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, participants, for your patience. And now we conclude our seminar. Thank you, ma'am. Now you can leave.
Okay, thank you so much everyone, and all the best for your interviews.
Thank you. Definitely, we will conduct more webinar.
Definitely.
We are looking forward to hear from you also.
Surely there's so much more we can do. Definitely, ma'am.
Sure. Thank you. Yukti?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, now we can stop live streaming.
Yes, ma'am. We can stop the live streaming now.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Nikita, ma'am.
Anytime.